delighted to say that joining us now on the NFL show ahead of Sunday Night Football as the Giants take on the Kansas City Chiefs, live and exclusive on the talkSPORT network, is offensive tackle of the New York Giants. And, well, I mean, I feel like friend of the station at this point, because obviously every time we ask the Giants for someone, they're like, well, we've got to send the Londoner on with talkSPORT. Jermaine Eluemunor, how are you doing, sir?
Great. We're just getting ready for Sunday night.
Look, just to start off with, looking at the season so far, obviously a wild game this past Sunday. What is the assessment from you guys sitting and watching that over the last couple of days and starting to get ready for this weekend of the season so far?
Just that we're capable of playing at a really high level. Just got to learn how to finish and complement each other. Like first week, the offense didn't do enough to win the game. And then second week, we had over 500 yards of offense. So, we've found a balance and consistency so we can put the defense in better positions on the field and have them play the way they want to play.
For you guys, I mean, it must be tough when you do put up 37 points in a game, and when the whole week in building up to that game, all we were hearing from the outside was, is this going to be the final game for Russell Wilson? Is this going to be when they make the change? And he goes out and has one of the kind of vintage Russ performance almost. What's it like playing in front of him? What's it like having his energy in that room this past week? And then kind of how do you assess what he's going to do going forward?
Yeah, Russell's a dog. I love playing with him. Just the demeanor he carries every single day, the intensity, and also just how he strives for perfection. Like, he knows he's not perfect. None of us are, but with him, he's always striving for perfection. And the way he practices, how detailed he is, and just how everything he does has a reason behind it. And he's, bringing that into this building, and I think it's been huge for us. And, week one, obviously, it didn't go the way any of us wanted, especially on offense. We sucked it off, and then get out there week two against a pretty good defense who held the Eagles for 24 points and go out there and have a great game offensively. So we just need to, like I said, just find a consistency. But Russ has been doing that since training camp. I mean, honestly, since OTAs when I first saw him throw the ball. I've been amazed with just how he throws the ball, and I haven't really been around that in my career as a starter. Obviously, I was around Tom Brady and Lamar Jackson when I was the swing guy. But, as a starter, I haven't been around anything like Russ. And, seeing those big completions, it just motivates you to go out there and just block like as hard as you can or as long as you can. So he gets the time he needs to just complete those throws, because nothing just breathes life into offensive linemen like those big throws do. And just, at the end of the game where he hit that bust to Nabers, I've never felt anything like that before. It was crazy.
It's wild that first Nabers touchdown wasn't the best touchdown that he threw to him that day, because that was insane on its own.
I know.
But
I know.
It's always blown my mind. I remember the first time seeing Russell Wilson in stadium. It's the high point of the ball. It's just how like it's so perfect for receivers. It's right into the bucket, and I can't even imagine from your position when you're seeing that go above you. It's like a shot out of a rocket.
Well, the funny thing is I'm still blocking. Like that first touchdown to Malik, like literally Malik celebrating in the end zone, and my guy's still trying to bull rush me. I didn't even know what was going on. And then I finally threw him off me, and I saw that Malik scored. I was like, oh crap. And then the second one to Wandale, I was still blocking, but I was able to see the ball up in the air, so I was able to get off my guy. And then the third one to Malik at the end of the fourth quarter, I was still blocking my guy, but I was able, towards probably right before he was about to catch it, I saw that the ball was gone. That's the one thing playing offensive line. You never know when the ball's gone, so you're just blocking until you either hear a whistle or you somehow see the ball over you, or the quarterback escapes the pocket. But yeah, I have to watch the tape after the game to actually see the entire play. So, but if that's the case, then I'm doing my job.
I love that. Look, not so much even just looking forward to this game, but we spoke to you in the off season, and you talked to us about how excited you are about the consistency on this line, about you getting to play right tackle for the whole season you hoped. And obviously Andrew Thomas has been out, but really positive noise from Coach Daboll yesterday that he'll be back for this weekend. How massive is that for your unit, and just the fact that you might have your 5 starters out there and getting to build some consistency?
Yeah, I think the thing with AT is, whenever he's ready to go, he'll be ready to go. And, he's an all-pro player and an example for all of us in the O-line room. So, we're allowed to have him back whenever he's able to come back. Also don't want to rush him because, it's a long season and it's only week 3. So, with him, I know he knows his body better than anyone. So whenever he thinks that he's ready to go, he's ready to go. And, no one's going to be more excited than me because, it's kind of like, not like Batman and Robin, but it's like Batman to Batman. Like when you have another attacker out there who's elite, you kind of feed off them. Like you feed off each other, like Lane Johnson and Jordan Mailata, or who's another elite duo? Or like Deion Dawkins and Spencer Brown in
Nice.
Buffalo. When you have that elite guy over there, you feed off each other and, you communicate with each other. Oh, what's this guy giving you? What's this guy giving you? And we have great depth as well, so it's been great. But, having AT out there would be great.
The Lions is the one I was thinking of, Taylor Decker and Penei Sewell, but I didn't want to go and throw one out there and just be like, yeah, I'll see what see what Jermaine comes up with. It was a pretty good one, to be fair. Just talking about those players on offense, because obviously you talked about that Malik Nabers catch. Like it does feel like there is starting to be those pieces that I think maybe the Giants, we haven't had that consistency in the past, and obviously there's going to be a lot of focus on Dart versus Wilson and everything else, but the pieces around them and the pieces around you as a line, how impressed have you been with guys like Nabers and what you guys have been able to put together on the offense, particularly this past week?
Yeah, I think, I've been around some pretty good receivers in my career, and one thing is sometimes they can just be all about themselves or not really about the team, just about their stats. And with Malik, he's all about the team, and he's willing to do whatever he needs to help the team win. And also, he's just a freaking dog. And, double coverage, doesn't matter. He's going to get the ball. And just like his athleticism, he's phenomenal. And then we have Wandale, too, who's I've always knew could be great. And he's really coming on this year. And then we have Slade, too. So we have a really good receiver room. And then the depth behind them is really good as well. So there's really no drop-off. But Malik is just, just knowing that if you give the QB time, he's going to find a way to get the ball to him. And he's going to make some sort of crazy catch, or those deep catches you saw against Dallas is really cool.
How do you prepare for a game like the Chiefs this weekend when, maybe through the first 2 weeks they haven't shown the quality that we know they have, but when you have a Steve Spagnuolo defense who can throw so many multiple looks at you and who have managed to figure it out so many times before when they look like they've not been there, how do you kind of weigh that up in your head between here's what I'm seeing on film, but here's what I know they can do beyond that?
Yeah. I mean, I have experience playing in the AFC West for 3 years, and then prior to that, when I was in New England. So I have a good, I'm pretty familiar with Spag's defense. I know that it's an amazing defense. They have a great talent on that defense. The D-line is pretty damn good. Obviously, Chris Jones is a game wrecker. So I think it really starts with blocking Chris Jones, taking him out the game however you can, and which teams struggle with because he's such an impactful player. And then also just blocking whatever they give you and just preparing throughout the week. Like for me, the week is more important than the game because practice, technically, you're practicing longer than you're playing in the game. Like the game is 1 day, practice is 5 days. So for me, practice is really important. So I see all the looks I need, and as an offensive line, we see all the looks we need to see, and we block them up. So once we get in the game, it's just smooth sailing. And I say smooth sailing, but is it truly smooth sailing? No, but you get familiar with what you can throughout practice, through tape, and then you just go out there and do the best you can and win the game.
Is there a feeling that it's a good time to be playing them because maybe the performances haven't been there, or is there maybe that little fear that it's a wounded animal game, right?
I don't buy into that whole thing. Oh, they're 0-2. They're, the dynasty's over, or, there's a drop-off. Like, it's Pat Mahomes, it's Travis Kelce, it's Andy Reid, it's Chris Jones, it's Carl Loftus, it's Drew Tranquill, Bolton, McDuffie. They have a great kicker. The Chiefs are the Chiefs, and I'm sure they're still going to win double-digit games this season. Just hopefully not this one.
Yeah, fingers crossed for you. Look, I do want to ask about. It's interesting you talked about Andrew Thomas and his effect on your room, right? Because as much as we've talked so positively about Russ and that performance this past weekend, there is so much focus on Jackson Dart, and I think it's a fascinating room to me, right? With Jameis, who has been so supportive of guys in the past, with Russ in there as well. Like, it's almost if you're a rookie coming in, you couldn't have a better group around you. So what have you seen from Jackson Dart? What is he learning from those guys? And kind of if and when that moment does come, how prepared do you think he's going to be?
I think he's going to be as prepared as he could be because you have Russ, you have Jameis, he has a great coach, Shea, and obviously Dable is teaching them every single day. You see them talking in the background about little things, probably little things within the offense, but then also just his maturity level. He doesn't act like a rookie, he acts like a vet. And I think that's huge because sometimes you get rookies where they act like little children. And, me being in year 9 now, I know that because I was one of those guys when he was a rookie, act like a little kid. So seeing Dart just carry himself the way he does, especially when he gets in there. Like he got in there a couple of times against the Cowboys, and you didn't really sense, oh, he's a rookie quarterback. It just felt like the ship was still sailing. And so that's really cool to see for him. And just the improvement from OTAs to now and just the progress he's made is really cool to see. And, I think he has a really exciting future ahead of him.
I think that is underrated, though, because, I'm not going to single out people right now around the league or anything else, but we are seeing other younger quarterbacks who are going in and they're struggling just with the functional part of the offense, with the process, with the getting the plays in and getting the plays out. And that stuff, which is, you might have done it in college for, 30, 40 games, but the speed of the NFL, the noise in those stadiums, it's like nothing else. And so if he's coming in and you feel like he's being level, then you've got to believe that.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of times in college, though, they're only going against a certain amount of defenses. And, the NFL, there's multiple defenses you go against. Like, everyone, like, in college, you may have a talented guy here, you may have a talented DB or a talented D lineman. In the NFL, everyone's talented. It's the NFL. Like, you have the best players at every single position on defense. And so just the speed of the game is completely different. That's why I think younger guys struggle once they get into the game. And, we talking from experience, the speed is uncomparable to college. Like, I remember going back to a college game maybe like 3 years into my career, and I was like, why does this look so freaking slow? Like, the speed is one thing that's really hard to catch up with. And once you get caught up, you have to, stay up there because it keeps getting quicker and quicker. And then also just the process and the things that you have to be able to process in your head as a quarterback, all the different reads, the defenses, the coverages, the line slides, the mic points, how your protection is going to be. There's so many things you have to process. And so unless they try to really simplify it for young guys, which they're not going to do because of the NFL, you get paid to do this. So you're going to have to learn the playbook. I think young guys are always going to struggle unless you're Pat Mahomes. So he got to wait. So I don't really think Jaden Daniels is the other rookie, but, that offense in Washington is really QB friendly, and, Cliff is a really good coordinator. So that's why I think you didn't really see a drop off with him. But, yeah, Dart's done a great job, and he's really picked up this offense and made it his own. So, whenever he gets a chance this year, next year, he's going to do great.
Love that. Look, Jermaine, we really appreciate your time. We've obviously gone over because that's what I do, but I'm sorry to everyone on that end. But look, appreciate you, sir. Wish you the best of luck this weekend. Hopefully we're talking about getting off the mark and pushing on with the season.
Yep, that's the plan.